All right, hello and welcome everyone. My name is Paul Walker, and just like you can see from the logo there, this is called Paul Walker TV, and this is episode number 1. So for me, very, very excited to finally, get this up and running, and hopefully what I want to be able to do with this particular video and certainly, this show that I want to put together for you is really just deliver the best value and content that I can. This is certainly a therapeutic way for me to get my thoughts and sort of knowledge and skills and stuff out into the world. But also, if you're watching this, then I hope it's something that you can really take as valuable, tangible knowledge and apply to your own sort of life or business or circumstances, whatever the case may be. So yeah, firstly, I do want to thank you for your time that you've given to watch this particular video, whether you're here on the live stream or maybe you'll catch this as a replay. Either way, yeah, certainly thank you so much for giving up your time to watch this and really introduce or allow yourself to be introduced to me firstly, and then hopefully in the future I'll be able to engage with you and learn more about you, just as you're learning more about me as well. So as the title suggests, this is really episode number 1. So there's no real, I guess, structure or outline for this other than I do just want to introduce myself, and I'll go into a bit more detail in a few minutes as to kind of who the fuck I am and where I'm from and what's brought me here and why am I doing this video and why is it even relevant to you. I'm going to cover that in a couple of minutes time, and also just give you a bit of a backstory as to why I'm doing this, and potentially why it's going to be relevant for you, and really the vision for where I want to sort of take this sort of show and this sort of video series into the future. As I said, I do have a bit of an outline as to the topics and things I want to cover, and again I'll touch on those in the next sort of few moments, but also just leaving it a little bit open to hearing what you potentially are enjoying about this particular show and the topics that I'm talking about. If there's something you want me to dive deeper into, then by all means shoot me a message or leave me a comment, and I'll certainly review those and take that sort of feedback on board. If there's something that you want me to dive deeper into, did I just say that? Or if there's something that I'm not talking about that you want to get my opinion on, or maybe you think I know something about, certainly let me know as well. If I know about whatever it is that you want me to speak about, for sure. If I don't, then I'll tell you that. And that's really, I guess, a way to sort of just lead into, for me, what are kind of, I guess, the non-negotiables and the foundational principles that I've sort of set myself for wanting to do this particular show. And I thought there's a good time just to sort of highlight these now. So number 1, the first and foremost thing is being real and being authentic and speaking from my heart, my soul, and the truth. And I know at times the truth might hurt, might not be particularly what you want to hear. Certainly may not be what I want to hear, even though I'm talking about it. But that's the whole point of the show, is to be real and be authentic and just be me, honestly. And you might be thinking, well, who are you? I'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But what I do hope is that, if you're watching this episode 1, this is the first time you've met me, get to know me, whatever. What I hope is if you do continue to watch these shows, as we move into the future, that you will get a sense of really who I am, what I stand for, what I like, what I don't like, what I do on a day-to-day basis, all those type of things, just as we were, working in an office together, and today was my first day, or today was your first day, and you happen to sit next to me, or we sit next to each other, and let's fast forward 3 years time, we're actually sort of pretty good friends. We can kind of bring that back to this moment and be like, hey, that's the day I met Paul, and that's the day I met, whoever you are. And really our friendship grew from just sitting, beside each other day to day, doing our work, talking, all that sort of stuff. So that's sort of what I hope, if you continue to watch these videos into the future, is that you get a sense of who I am. And, if we fast forward, say, a year into the future, in July 2020, you could be watching one of my live stream videos and just think, fuck, man, Paul's so different to who he was a year ago when I started watching him. I've seen this guy grow and change and develop and all those type of things. Just as I would hope that if we start to engage and converse, I can see the changes in you and whatever it is that you get out of watching these videos and apply to your life, I can sit back and go, absolutely, Mark, Mary, Jane, Jim, whatever. I've seen you change just from making a conscious choice and implementing whatever it is that you've been implementing into your life. So that's what I do hope that you as a viewer get from these sort of videos. But for me, as I said, it's really just coming across and being the truest or most authentic person I can be, because for the last 15, 20 years, I haven't been really living the true me inside, and it sucks that I haven't, and it was definitely a hard pill to swallow to really realize that. But I think we know all within ourselves when we're being true, when we're being fake, when we feel we're in line, we're in alignment, we're on purpose, and when we feel like we're just reacting and we're just kind of coasting and just feel like we're getting kind of pushed into things that we don't really want to do, but we don't really know if we want to do it or not. So we just kind of go with the flow, and then we realize, oh, shit, I don't really want to be doing that. So that's, I guess, a summary of where my life has been for the last sort of 15, 20 years. And it's only very recently that I've, as I said, one, acknowledged that I haven't been living the true, authentic me. Two, that I've accepted that. I've accepted that I haven't been living that. And that, three, I believe I can change. And I believe that whoever the true me is that wants to be out and be the person that you're kind of seeing and interacting with, either through this camera or face to face, if we ever meet on the street or whatever, that you get that real sense of like, yeah, that's Paul, that's him. I feel his energy, I get his vibe, I know this dude. All those metaphysical things that just happen when you meet someone, and you know what I'm talking about. You can meet someone, or you can be walking down the street, look at someone and get a sense of like, all right, my guard's up, I'm not sure about this guy. Because he's projecting a vibe, that person's projecting a vibe that they're gonna do something bad or something's gonna go down. Versus, say you go to a party, you go to a party with a friend, you don't know anyone, but you can walk into the room and instantly you can kind of scan the room and you can know who's the life of the party, who are the people that are a bit shy and sort of standing in the corner, who's the person that's telling the most jokes and has got the biggest laugh and all that sort of stuff. Chemistry when you meet a girl or you meet a guy and you just, you can be just having a conversation, but your filters are open and you're getting that spidey sense tingle of, man, this person's flirting with me, or this person's just being sort of nice and polite, but they're not really digging what I'm saying. We all get that, right? So that's what I hope from doing these videos and being the true, authentic me, is that you get that sense of, yeah, Paul's being real. He's telling it as it is. This is him, and he's not hiding now. I know that you're not going to have a reference point. You don't know me. But what I hope, like I said, is that as you continue to watch these videos, you may see a change in me. I hope you sort of see a change. That you could say, yeah, man, when you first started doing these videos, although you were being true and authentic, yeah, you're certainly a lot better, or I certainly get a better sense of you now, 6 months, year, 2 years into the future, whatever the case may be. Anyway, kind of rambling, but I think you get it. So that's part of doing these particular videos and shows. So number one, just being true, authentic, saying what I think, saying what I believe, saying what I'm getting from the downloads from the universe and source, and not putting a filter on that. And when I say putting a filter, I swear, you've probably heard me swear already. That's just me. I don't apologize for it. Pardon me. Whether you want to take this as a warning, hey, that's on you. I do just swear, and I do it because it's just part of me. It's part of my vocabulary. I'm sick of fucking tired of not swearing and trying to be all politically correct and watch my P's and Q's and all that sort of shit. I ain't fucking about that anymore, right? And yeah, if my swearing offends you, then I'm sorry, but that's on you. It's just who I am, and I swear because I can. And for me, it's also just a good way to emphasize certain words or emphasize a statement or a sentence that I'm saying. So I don't just swear for the sake of swearing. There is a purpose and a reason for doing it. I'm just telling you, I do swear. The other part of it is also I speak a lot in pop culture, movies, music lyrics, quotes from movies, references from movies, TV shows. That's just me. It's what lights me up. I love it. I love engaging in conversations about movies and music and TV shows and stuff. And as I said, if something happens throughout the day and I can reference a movie or a TV show that's relevant to whatever's just happened, man, I'll drop that into the conversation. And you'll see that probably with some of the titles that I bring up for future, TV shows and stuff like this that we're going to do here. I might reference a line from a movie or a lyric from a song because it holds a metaphor or a reference for what I want to speak about. So again, it's just me. I just love talking about it. A lot of people tell me they get value when I break down metaphors of a movie and relate it to life, and you'll see what I mean. You'll get a sense of that as I sort of naturally do that. But again, it's just me. So I'm just saying, hey, if you don't like it, I can't help you. It's just me. It's just who I am. So that's really the non-negotiables and the foundations for me. It's just really just being real, being authentic, not really giving a fuck what other people think. I do encourage you to leave comments, whether they're good, bad, nasty, ugly, whatever. There's no filter here. You can comment, you can leave whatever the hell you want. Whether I accept it as whatever it is you're saying, that's up to me. But I'm not going to say don't leave nasty comments because that's not nice. Hey, if you feel like you need to leave a nasty comment, cool. I certainly hope that you wouldn't. I certainly hope that you would have a positive thing to say. But at the end of the day, hey, we're all human. So, but what I guess what I'm trying to say is, feel free to engage. I really want to build up this as an engagement. I don't just want, even though these live streams are technically me talking and you can't respond back other than leaving a comment or leaving a message, and I don't always see that in real time, I still want you to put the effort in, because I will go back and see it. I will go back and answer a question or give you a like or reply if there is a comment that needs replying to. So feel free to feel free to engage, knowing that I will come back and engage, with you if I don't do it, directly here on the live stream, if you're live with me on the stream, right? So that's really it. So now that you've got a little bit more of a sense of who I am, who the fuck am I, right? So as I said, the logo says my name is Paul Walker. So just like the guy from the Fast and Furious movies that unfortunately lost his life, we've been blessed to have parents that called us the exact same name, which is pretty cool. Certainly has worked in my favor at times. I'm not gonna lie, have used it as a bit of a jokingly kind of pickup line once or twice, and sometimes I get the right reactions, sometimes I don't. Fuck it, if your name was Brad Pitt, fuck, I'd be using that in pickup lines and using that in conversation all the time. So again, that is my name, and originally I was born in Canada, lived there too. I was about 8, 9 years old before my parents moved me and my sister out to Australia, hence why you can probably hear my Australian accent. Just gonna take some water here. And have sort of lived the majority of my life in Australia. Currently 39 years old as of shooting this particular video. So I spent the majority of my life in Australia. In my mid-20s, I did go traveling. I went to America, back to Canada, really just to sort of see the things that I grew up with as a kid to now go see it as an adult. And probably spent about 8 months in Canada and America at that time. And then I bought a one-way ticket to Scotland in the UK. My dad's actually from Scotland, so I have a bit of Scottish heritage in me as well. And ended up living with my grandmother for about 4 years while I stayed and traveled throughout Europe and Scotland and the UK. And I had an absolute ball of a time. It's definitely one of the best periods of my life, that sort of 4 or 5 year period of traveling and living outside of Australia. And for me, the reason why I look upon it so fondly, and I guess it brings me back to the reason as to why I'm doing these particular videos and stuff, is when I initially left Australia in my early 20s and went traveling, I left because I wanted to escape. I wanted to escape Australia. And I'll just preface this by saying, there's no disrespect to Australia as a country or Australians or any of my friends and family who are Australian or still currently live there. It is an awesome country, I'm not going to lie. It's a beautiful country, great standard of living and stuff like that. Though my personal belief is you do pay for that level of living, and sometimes I think in my experience, I believe that the cost of the freedom and the cost of the beauty is a lot higher than what it should be. Let me just say that. So I mean no disrespect, but as I was speaking to my sister the other week, she made a very valid point, which is this, just because where you live, it doesn't necessarily have to be your home. And a lot of expats and people who have traveled will know what I mean. For me, Canada, yes, it does feel like my home because that's where I was born, even though I've only really spent 9 years of my 39 years there. It still means something to me. And I don't know if this is because I just happened to live there as a child and it just means more because my childhood memories are related to that country. Maybe it would have been different if I was born in Australia and then moved to Canada and lived most of my life in Canada. Would I be thinking, Canada's not really what I like and I want to move back to Australia? Maybe, I don't know. But for me, Australia is not my home, and it's never felt like my home, even though I've lived 20 odd years of my life, 25 years of my life there. It's just been a place to live. So for me, why I hold Scotland in that part of my life as such a fond and dear memory was because I wanted to leave Australia and get out of some of the memories and the shit that sort of had gone down while I was living there, and to be able to get out and travel and just see a completely different part of the world, meet people that they don't know you, they don't know your backstory. And as weird as it sounds, that's what I felt like. When I was walking down the streets of anywhere in Australia, I just felt like people just knew me. They just knew my backstory. They could see right through me. and that's why I just didn't really enjoy my time there. You might agree, disagree, I don't know, whatever. It's not really for you to, I guess, agree. I'm just saying that's just that's just how I felt, how I feel, and where it sort of all come from. So that's why for me, hold that part of my life living in Scotland and Europe and stuff at such a high level, because that was really me being my true, authentic self. When I look back now as the person I was when I was traveling and living there, that's the type of person I want to get back to being, and I've not been that person for a very long time, and it sucks. Like it's shit. Like it's shit that life has led me to a point where, like, I realize that, and I think not that there's been wasted years or wasted time. It's just I could have lived that so differently. And I also realized that the journey is the journey, in the sense that it is what it is. I can't go back, I can't change things. So all I can really do is learn from it and take away, the hindsight and how I felt at the time, and then bring it into the future and present tense, and sort of see how that's shaped my life to where I am right now, which is fine. That's a great way to learn. Now that I look back at these things and see that for what it is, and hopefully as I move forward in my life now, I'll be triggered. I'll see, if something is going to happen the same sort of way, or I'm feeling the same sort of way, I'll know now to address that, as opposed to let it, linger on for as long as it did. Maybe that makes sense to you. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. I just know for me that for the last sort of 15 years since I was living in Scotland, I came back to Australia for my sister's wedding. I certainly don't regret that. I never would have missed my sister's wedding. But in hindsight, I probably should have come back for a couple of weeks, come back for a month or so, and then gone back overseas. Instead, I was like, I'll just come back and whatever happens, happens. And 5 years down the road from that point, I kind of woke up one day. I was just like, fuck, like what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your life? What's going on? This is not where you want to be or what you want to be doing. I was in a relationship that I just didn't want to be in anymore, living in places that I didn't want to be living in, surrounded by people that I really didn't want to be surrounded by anymore. And again, that's no disrespect to the relationship and the friends and people at that time. Again, it's only in hindsight that I realize now they were good for what they were at the time, but it definitely wasn't, if I'm being honest with myself, who I wanted to be and who I wanted to be associating with. I just never challenged myself to ask the biggest questions, sort of back then. So fast forward to a week ago, it's my 39th birthday. I packed my bags and literally boarded a plane on my birthday from Australia, and moved out here to Chiang Mai in Thailand. So that's where I am currently. So this room, the backdrop that you see here, sitting in some accommodation here in Chiang Mai. Been here for about a week. Been here for 6 days. It'll be a week tomorrow. Prior to my birthday a week ago, the month before that really was, I just made the decision that I didn't want to be in Australia anymore. I was sick of living the life that I was living. I really wanted to change things up, for me in my life, and really just get clear on some goals, some intentions, a way of life, a standard of life that I wanted to live. And I just didn't see that happening in Australia for a number of reasons. But a big part of it was just, man, I've been living in Australia for like 25 years. I was just bored. I was just over it. And it's such a massive, big, wide world, outside our doorstep. Why live on the same street for your whole life? And I get it. There's people out there that do, and they're happy and they're content with that. That's cool. I'm not saying my way is right or was the correct way or whatever. Hey, there's some people that have never left their hometown and they're happy and content with that. That's cool. That's just not me. That's just not what I wanted to do. And as I said, it took a lot of guts and belief and just backing myself that, okay, Paul, you're not living the life that you want to live. What is the type of life that you want to live? Okay, if it's X, Y, Z things and places and how you want to be and the type of person that you want to be, okay, figure out a way to make that happen. And that's probably the scariest thing for a lot of people is you can have the dream, you can jump on the internet and do your research and go, okay, I want to live here, it's going to cost me this much and all those tangible things, but then you still have to kind of put one foot in front of the other and make that actually happen. So 6 weeks ago, that was the crossroad I was faced at. It was like, okay, I don't want to be in Australia anymore. My birthday's coming up. I'm going to be 39 years old. What do you want to do different? And the downloads from source, from universe that I was getting was, if you don't fucking do this now, you're never going to do it. You're just going to end up being trapped in jobs that you don't like, doing it for the paycheck, barely scraping by, not living the type of life that you're living, and you're going to fast forward. Realistically, I'm 39. A week ago, I felt like, well, 6 weeks ago, sorry, I should say, I felt like in 20 years' time, so I'll be just coming on to the age of 60, probably wasn't going to survive much longer than 60, honest. Like, that's what I felt. Because of the cost of living in Australia, working these fucking shitty jobs that I hated working, living paycheck to paycheck. It's like, how am I going to get myself ahead that when I get to an age of not being able to work anymore, or retirement is forced upon you, all that sort of shit, am I going to have enough money to actually see out the rest of my life, but live out the rest of my life in a way that I want to live it, not fucking living on $10 a day in some rundown nursing home with other old people that are all struggling and bitter at life, and like, no, like, fucking put a bullet in my head right now. If that's how life is going to be, save me the misery, save me the pain, fucking end it now. You know what I mean? And of course, I don't have a crystal ball as the future. I don't know if that's how life was going to be. I just felt that that's where my life was going. So, so 6 weeks ago, I had to make the decision to quit my job, pack up my life, literally sell off the things that didn't fit into my suitcase, say goodbye to friends and family and people that probably will never see again, and really make the conscious decision that you're going to do this. And as scary as that was, hey, I'm a week into it, I'm a week into living the life that I want to live. And I'm not saying I have all the answers, like I still need to figure out income, like how I'm going to support myself. Although I've got savings and cash that I'm drawing upon, that's not going to last me forever. And certainly I want to use this shift in who I am and where I'm going and what I want to be and what I want to do to get myself ahead in life. And whether that's making millions of dollars or making 10 grand a month or whatever the case may be, having the options is really what it's all about. And that's really where this whole change has come about. So I hope that gives you a bit of a sense of me, and why Paul Walker TV is launching today, and sort of where I see the vision of it going into the future. As I said, I have a bit of an outline as to the things I want to talk about, and specifically those topics are: how did I quit my job and become a digital nomad? There's a lot of people out there that want that freedom, that want that opportunity. So if there's some way that I can help with telling you just the things that I've done, the hurdles that I face, how I get through it, what beats me down, what brings me up, all that sort of stuff, then that's certainly a topic that I feel I'm going to have a lot of knowledge on, and I certainly want to share that with those people that are watching these videos. And again, if that's something that you want to do in your life, then hopefully, my message and content is going to be valuable enough for you to make the changes and implement the things you need to in your life. So that's certainly topic number one, that if you continue to want to watch, these particular Paul Walker TV show programs, that's certainly some of the knowledge I'll be sharing, is how to become a digital nomad. Number two, part of that will then be, how do you set up the systems, right? How do you start an online business based around whatever it is that you're passionate about, whatever it is that you've been given some God-given talents in? How can you use that to live the life that you want to live, And again, it's taken me 39 years to start to really figure this shit out, and I don't have all the answers. I don't know right of exactly this moment of, am I ultimately living out my fulfillment of purpose, and is this exactly what I want to be doing? Because I'm still in that molding stage. But even a week ago, I'm furthermore down that road of knowing that I'm living by purpose than I was a week ago. And then that's the big thing. Sometimes you just have to get out in the world and just start doing shit to realize and figure out, yes, this is what I love doing, or I thought it was what I wanted to do, not quite it, so let's go try this, And you can sit there and philosophize in your mind what you think will happen, or what the outcome might be if I go and do this. Like, maybe your dream is to sail around the world, for argument's sake, all right? You can sit there in the bedroom and think, oh man, when I get on the boat and start sailing and I'm out on the open sea, man, life's going to be like this. You can sit there and think that as much as you like, but until you actually get out there and start doing it and actually seeing and feeling and experiencing what it actually is like, you're never going to fucking know, right? So, for a long time, I wanted to be an actor. Well, I thought I wanted to be an actor. I quite like getting in front of a camera like this. It doesn't really make me nervous or freak me out or anything like that. But I knew as a kid, like, what I enjoyed, and that's probably why I like movies so much. I knew I liked being different characters. I knew I liked living out and playing out sort of different scenarios in life, and who I was as a person in my day-to-day life didn't always excite me. So I thought, being an actor, man, if you get to play this particular character, and maybe you're shooting a movie or a TV series or whatever the case may be, man, if you get to be that character for X amount of period of time, that's such an escape and a release from who your real life is. Man, that would be so cool. That's what I thought, until I actually jumped in and started to try and be an actor. And there was just things about that profession that, just didn't really light me on fire. And the characters that I thought I wanted to play or that I wanted to do, other people thought, nah, you're not right for that role, or, we don't see you in that role. So, so that deterred me a little bit to go, well, if I want to play these roles, just let me fucking do it. But, I understand that there's a system of things. I get it. So I quickly realized that, okay, maybe being an actor isn't necessarily my calling and my purpose. But now we live in this age of where I can turn on a live stream like this. I get to be an actor if I want to. I could sit here and make up my own TV show if I really wanted to, do and act and be whoever it is, the characters I want to be. And if no one ever fucking watched it, who cares? At least I did it, right? So that was a big sort of learning curve I took away from that, is like, okay, I went out and tried to be an actor. Wasn't everything I thought it was going to be, but I didn't have to bury it and forget about it. I can take that element of like, okay, I can be different characters, I can act in different scenarios. I just need to find another way to channel that and use that, in my day-to-day life or in my business or the things that I want to do. And yeah, doing a live stream like that for me is very similar, and it kind of ticks the boxes, and it gives me that sense of, dude, you're doing it, you're being an actor, even though it's just me being me in front of a screen. But as I said, whether a million people watch this live stream or no one ever watches this live stream, that's irrelevant to me. I just know that I'm doing it for me, and I get to sort of tick that box and say, I've done it. And fast forward to when I'm on my deathbed, I don't want those regrets. I don't want to sit there and have to ask that question of myself, like, hey, Paul, remember when you were 39 years old and technology allowed you to jump on live streams and you could just start a live stream and you could recite a poem, you could sing a song, you could, reenact lines from your favorite movies. You had the opportunity to do that, but you didn't because you were scared or because you thought, oh, if I don't have a million followers, it's not worthwhile. And then ask myself that question on my deathbed, realize I didn't do it, and have a regret that, like, well, fuck, you should have just done it. I'd rather have that conversation now at 39 to myself and go, okay, how can I change it? I've still got time, I've still got the energy, I've still got ways to change it. I can change the trajectory of my life, as opposed to at the end and realize, fuck, you just missed out on all those opportunities and the time to do those things, So maybe rambling a little bit, but I hope you get the sense of what I'm saying there. So that's it in a nutshell. I sort of want to wrap this up. Now just sort of like just being an introductory. I just wanted people who are watching this to get a sense of who I am. Hopefully I've intrigued you enough that you will want to come back and watch, the next one. And the purpose for me and the goal for me now is, quitting that job and, moving out to sort of Thailand initially was to buy back those 8 hours that I was working in a job that I didn't like, to buy back that time, to put it in to doing something that I really wanted to do and really love doing, and hopefully 10 times, my output, and because, I'm just loving what I'm doing. So for me, doing these videos, my intention is to do one every day. So I hope you will follow me along and tune into the next episode and the episode after that, and who knows, in a year's time, you can say you've seen every episode or whatever the case may be. So yeah, hopefully I've intrigued you enough to come back and watch some more. As I said, I do have a bit of a basic outline of a show structure, but that's also flexible too. As I said, I really want you guys to engage. So if there's things you want me to talk about, then I'll put that into the format, into the show. I do have a tendency to waffle from time to time. I know that's just me. Can't really do too much about it. I try and be conscious about it sometimes, but for me, sometimes it's just I'm in the flow. Like I'm just when you're just on autopilot sometimes because you're just vibing on what you're talking about. Yeah, sometimes that does lead to a bit of kind of waffling, but it's in that waffling that the message comes through. So I do kind of apologize for it, but it is also just me, and it's, if you can sit through the tail end of a waffle, you'll probably find that a gold nugget is about to get dropped, or one was just sort of dropped and I'm just sort of rambling off at the end of it. Yeah, so I think that's kind of it for episode 1. And as I said, I just wanted you to get a sense of me. I just wanted to set the intention for what the show is going to be, and not just this particular TV show. And I call it a TV show because I guess it kind of is, in the sense that it's a reality show based on my life. It's informational, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I'm not really trying to define it, but when I say TV show, you just sort of know what I mean. But outside of that, you know, I've been told, and I believe I do have a bit of a skill for writing. So I'll also be doing blog posts. Again, the intention is to do them daily as well. Now, whether that will just be a straight out sort of transcription of, you know, a live stream as the blog post, yeah, from time to time, it probably will be like that. But I also hope to use the blog post as just another medium, or just a way to expand upon, you know, doing the daily show. Or it could just be a completely different topic to the video of the day. But what I wanted to let you know is that there'll also be blog posts. So if you prefer to take your information in through reading it, then that's something that I will also have up and running, as well as doing podcasts. Again, I figured, you know, why not? I quite enjoy talking like this, not necessarily always having to do it in front of a camera. Sometimes you just want to record just your thoughts and just put it out as an audio. So again, if you prefer to listen to podcasts, then that will come. I don't know exactly when and at what stage, but it is something that I would like to get up and running, as well as, instead of just me just preaching and just saying my thing, I'd really love to use the podcast as, you know, an interview time to talk to others, whether it's people who have sort of gone before me, you know, have more knowledge, more experience, and I get to question them and ask them how they got to where they are and doing what they're doing. Or, hey, if it's a viewer like yourself, and maybe you've started to implement things in your life, and you've got a message that, you know, is worth sharing, then I'd love to interview you as well. So again, make this a bit of a two-way back and forth, you know, conversation as well. So yeah, so keep an eye out for those. As I said, yeah, all those sort of mediums and things will come. You can also find me obviously on sort of social media. So I'll bring up some links and stuff here in a second. So let me just do that here for you. So these are probably the three main platforms that you will sort of find me on social media. So obviously, if you're watching this Facebook Live, you've probably already found me on Facebook, but just in case you haven't, that's there. Instagram, I do spend a lot of time on Instagram as well, sort of repurposing videos, just chunking them down into smaller amounts, as well as photography. I do quite like, you know, using photography as a medium. I like taking photos, especially as I, you know, am a digital nomad and want to continue to be a digital nomad, you know, to tell my story just through pictures. Again, Instagram is a great way to do that. And yeah, YouTube as well. You know, sort of really want to use YouTube again as just another way to put these particular videos and live streams up as, you know, a source and a channel that people can find me on. Pardon me, as well as doing what I call, I guess, a more structured, you know, weekly vlog. So my intention for that is to, yeah, sort of put together a more structured and more polished video of my week-to-week journey, whether that's behind the scenes stuff, me just sort of traveling out and about. Each week will kind of be a bit of a story, a bit of a flow. And again, that's sort of what I want to use the YouTube platform for primarily. But again, between this and Facebook and stuff like that, they'll sort of chop and change. So anyway, we'll let that be as it is. But yeah, so that's the links you can find me at on those particular social platforms. As I said, they're the main three that you'll find me on. And if you want to ask a question, get in touch, engage, whatever the case may be, shoot me a message, leave a comment on either one or all three of those, and I'll certainly, you know, answer you there. As you've probably seen, if you are watching this and this is, you know, episode 1, you know, currently I don't have any followers. This has all been started from brand new, and that's cool. I accept that. I own it. I'm actually excited to sort of see, you know, potentially where it'll go. Not necessarily by, ooh, how many followers can I get and how big can this go? That'll be whatever it's going to be. You know, I'm just going to do what I believe is the right content, and, you know, put that out in a way and try and sort of spread that message out through as many different channels as I can, and the way that's, I guess, the easiest and the most relevant to do so. And whoever likes, whatever, that's out of my control. But the point of me sort of highlighting this is that, okay, we all have to start from somewhere. Even the Kardashians started with 0 followers, I'm sure, even though it was probably only for a micro nanosecond before they had, 1,000 followers or whatever. But we all start from 0, right? We all start from not knowing anyone, from not having an audience, to building one up eventually over time. But what I see it as an advantage for you, the follower, the viewer who's watching this, is that you can follow a Kim Kardashian, a Khloe Kardashian, who have in the billions of followers, and can you imagine the amount of like messages and DMs that they're getting and comments and stuff like that? I mean, they're not answering everyone's comments. They're probably not even looking at half of their daily comments and stuff like that. So the advantage that I sort of see is that if there's something that I say that resonates with you, you want to ask me a question because what I've said you're intrigued by, then do it, because the likelihood of you getting an answer from me is probably 1,000 times better than trying to get an answer from a well-known influencer and stuff. And I guess coming in, now at the ground level and building up a relationship, with me and engaging with me now at the beginning, is that, hey, in the future, if there's thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of followers, whatever the case may be, if you were here from the start and we've built up a friendship and a relationship, well, who do you think I'm going to answer more if I saw you versus Joe Blow who's just come on for the first time? So all I'm saying is that it's an advantage that I've got no followers at the moment, because you get that sort of interaction. You'll get to have me respond, and that's something that I am holding to myself, that I will do my very best to answer and reply as quickly as I can. Obviously, bear in mind, I could be traveling, time zones could be different, but I'll certainly do my best to answer you as quickly as I can. Whether it's on a live stream, obviously we can't interact in a live stream in the sense that, it may take me to, once the live stream is done, to go back, read your comment or see that you've liked or whatever the case may be, but I will go back and do that. And if we do, live webinars or something like that, or like Zoom calls, whatever, where, I might be able to bring you out and we can have a bit of a conversation, then cool. As I said, if you sort of know me now from the beginning, then you're more likely to get called out later in the future because, pardon me, you've been here in the beginning. So cool. So I hope that's clear on that. And as I said, fully acknowledge, fully embrace that I have 0 followers at the moment, but hey, we all got to start somewhere. And yeah, I'm just excited just to see where it goes and who resonates with the message. And if you don't, you don't. That's fine. If you do, awesome. But just, feel free. And I encourage you to comment, to like, to share if you think the message is relevant to someone else as well. Awesome. Well, I think, as I said, that's about time for me to wrap it up. There's nothing really too much else for me to say. But again, a big thank you for giving up your time to watch this particular video. As I said, episode 1, we're nearly done and dusted, which is awesome, which now means we're not at the beginning anymore. We're now in the middle section, right? And the middle section could literally run for the next 20, 30 years, which is pretty cool, which is pretty inspiring. So so the beginning is pretty much over, and now we're in the good part. We're in the middle section. We're on the we're in the flow of it, as it were. So so thank you so much for giving your time to watch this particular video. Hopefully you'll watch the replay and stuff as well. And look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's video and the day after that, and however many more we go into the future. And certainly, if we get a chance to meet up, face to face, that would be awesome too. And that's something that, again, is going to be coming in the very near future. I do have some courses and some programs that I'm just putting together and looking forward to releasing some content for you. That's also going to be a lot of free content. But if you so feel that you want to work with me, then yeah, there will be programs and courses and live events that will be available for you to purchase and be a part of. So all those details will come in their own due time. Just know that stuff is in the works, and I do it because I want to, really. And obviously, the whole purpose of this was to, as I said, create a lifestyle and create a business that perpetuates and funds my dreams and my vision, but also in doing so allows me to share with you my gifts, my content that I hope you see as being valuable and something that you can implement in your life to be able to create the life that you want, and vice versa, have that sort of whole circle of life thing where what I'm saying and doing inspires you to do what you want to do, and what you do inspires the next person, and so on and so on. That's really what I think a big part of living this life is about, is learning and sharing and teaching and passing on to the next person and being inspired by the person that's gone before you and stuff. So yeah, so it's a whole bag of a lot of different things, and we'll find our way as we work through these videos and these TV shows and all that sort of stuff. So again, thank you so much for your time. I'll leave it there. This is Paul Walker signing off, episode number 1 from Paul Walker TV. Thank you again so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you on the very next video. Bye for now.